Hey guys, welcome to JasonWhiskyWise and myself, Jason, bringing you whiskey review number 42, where we're going to review the Macallan 12-year-old Sherry Oak. So this is one I've got in a tweet tasting along with the Fine Oak and the Double Cast, all the 12-year-olds, and I decided now it's time to do the whiskey review. Now if you have missed the previous video, I'll leave a link to it just up there towards the end. But for now, let's pour ourselves a dram, get into the review. Now, I will be also featuring some travel retail Macallans, so if you are interested in those, be sure to click the subscribe button and stay up to date. So I'll pour myself a little dram, and let's begin by starting with the age of this whiskey. So this one is aged for 12 years. The ABV of this one is bottled at 40% ABV, and the cask selection that they use in this one is hand-selected or selected sherry oak casks from Jerez in Spain. So if you're not too sure what that is, I'll just ping a location just over there so you can see exactly where they do pick their sherry oak casks. In terms of the distillery, it is the Macallan Distillery, and they are owned by the parent company of the Edrington Group. Now, the Macallan Distillery is located in Speyside, Scotland, and they are very well known for producing very rich, fruity styles of them, especially their sherry casks whiskies. So, next up, we're going to move into the price point. And this one is priced at £70 for the full-size bottle, which I'll just ping over there. So it is quite pricey for an entry, sort of more or less a 12-year-old whiskey, and £70. It's quite a high price, but we'll get to that towards the end of the video. In terms of exclusivity, again, it is not exclusive. You can actually find this one in many shops. Some do vary. I have seen in one shop in central London, it was £100 for the 12. So maybe they got their pricing wrong, but it did say Macallan 12 Sherry Oak, £100. And I just think, wow. But anyway, in terms of caramel colouring, no colouring added to this whiskey. It was all natural colour in this whiskey. So that means we need to next up start by assessing the colour for this whiskey. So by assessing the colour of this whiskey, it is completely darker than the actual Fine Oak. And you can see does have sort of a nice rich ambery colour to it, so I'm going to go with a healthy amber. We'll say a rich amber because it does have a nice dark colour to it. So next we're going to move into assessing the nose, so into the nose. So to begin things off, the nose, this is very nice and rich. You get the very nice distinctive sherry characters. It does begin with a vanilla-y note. Then I'm getting the Seville oranges, very ripe and juicy oranges, taking me back to Spain, actually. Then you're getting those classic sherry characteristics of raisins, plums, dates, actually not dried, but a bit more sort of juicy. A little bit of dark chocolate offering its bitter notes. And then back again with those more of them, now this time stewing in their sherry characters, and a little bit of vanilla returns, and more or less in the presence of a vanilla sort of icing, or vanilla butter icing, giving that a little bit of sweetness but a creamy note. Very nice on the nose. So next we're going to move into the palate for this whiskey. So to begin things on the palate, you are greeted with a very nice mouth-warming gingery spice. The texture is quite more towards a medium texture, and it sort of just sinks into the taste buds with the richness of the sherry cask used. It does remind me of a little bit of a mocha coffee. Give me that little bit of sweeter chocolatey notes, but then also that coffee freshness. And quite a little bit of moist vanilla sort of sponge cake, and it all reminds me that you're getting like a sponge cake, you're getting the stewed sherried fruits, pouring them on top, and then you're sort of drizzling the whole thing with a bit of honey and more towards actually say toasted caramel, or slightly, softly toasted caramel, giving you a slightly burnt note on it as well, so a burnt sweetness. So quite a very desserty, sort of very nice palate for this whiskey. So far the nose and palate have been absolutely fantastic and outstanding. So next we're going to move into the finish for this whiskey, so into the finish. So the notes on the actual finish for this whiskey, it does have a nice rich sherry sort of finish on this one. You do get a little bit of a bittery note and I'd say towards a bitter citrusy note as it sort of sinks into the taste buds and sort of rolls all around the palate. And then I'm getting wood spices, a little bit of vanilla, and then from there the bitterness returns in sort of like a heavy dark chocolate, but it's not sweet, it's just very bitter, more towards, say, cocoa or cacao or cocoa powder. Very bitter on the end. And then it dries the palate with those spices and the woody notes, or woody spices, so to speak. So on that note, I'm going to give my actual rating on the whiskey, and then come to my overall opinion. So on that note, I'm going to give it a bit more higher than what I gave in the last review, without giving too many spoilers. But anyway, 87 out of 100. It's up there in the high 80s because it's just such a beautifully rich sherried whiskey. You can definitely tell the the hand-selected casks that are used to give it the nice rich characteristics of one of those very well sherried whiskies. The only downside for me, well, there's two downsides. One would be that it gives a very strong bitter note on the finish. And it does end in a sort of medium finish. It doesn't prolong itself much longer compared to other sherried whiskies I've had. So finish is not long enough, and it's quite bitter compared to the nose and the palate. The nose and the palate are absolutely beautiful, so enjoyable. But then the finish, bitter notes, oaky notes, finish just ends, and I just didn't feel worked for me. And then also the price point being at between 70 and some places I said £100, I feel is a little bit too pricey. But if you find that anything less than, I'd say around about 60 or even less than the Fine Oak, by all means pick it up. You're going to enjoy this whiskey. It's so great in terms of flavors and its natural color. Really good quality take it into the actual making of this whiskey. So on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. Would I add water to this whiskey? Probably not, because I like those flavors, just a flavor, say in the palate. If you add water, it makes it quite lighter. It subdues that sort of spice element, which I didn't feel water really is needed in this whiskey. But anyway, that's my opinion. Let me know if you've tried the Macallan 12 Sherry Oak. I'm going to be trying to get my hands on the 18 and the 25, which 25 is going to cost me around about £1,000, but if I can get it, by all means, that would be absolutely fantastic. So, on that note, let me know what you think of the Macallan 12-year-old Sherry Oak down below in the comment sections. Be sure to check out the other video just up here, and when the other video is uploaded, it should be down here. Be sure to click the subscribe button to stay up to date with more videos, and next up we're going to have another Macallan. So this is going to be Jason from WhiskyWise, and I'll catch you all for the next video.